This week, we had the top 5 NASCAR announcers, in our opinion, of all time. And I think both of us are going to have the same number 1. I've got some interesting people on here. Some may have not have been in NASCAR for so long, and I'm kind of thinking like they should still be, and they're just really good announcers. So I'll go first this week, and then you can do next week's, which we haven't figured out yet, but we'll announce that on Sunday during the live show. But at number 5 for the 5 best NASCAR announcers of all time, I've got a guy that he's appeared on multiple NASCAR Heat games, Dirt to Daytona. Fantastic announcer. He was announcing with the SRX series quite a bit. I wish he would come back to announce some NASCAR races because he is fantastic. Alan Bestwick, I have him at number 5. Number 4, I've got a guy, obviously he doesn't do it anymore. His brother does it now. But Benny Parsons, I've got at number 4. Legendary in the booth, legendary racer, and one of the best in the booth that's done it. I believe he was Fox, if I'm not mistaken. He was a little bit before my time. I think he was in the Fox booth, but you can still hear his calls and all of that. I think he might have been on the call with Dale's 500 win with Mike Joy, if I'm not mistaken. So, but again, one of the great legendary voices in the sport, Benny Parsons. Number 3, he's in the NASCAR Hall of Fame, dad of another Hall of Famer. I've got Ned Jarrett as my number 3. And you kind of see this. A lot of these guys are, well, 2 of them. 2 of them are former racers, and they're
3 matches so far.
Yeah, well, two of them former racers, and I think that's a testament to these TV people pointing out some of these drivers that will be good in the booth, and I think they're going back to that now with Kevin Harvick getting back in the booth. And I love when they do the drivers only stuff. I think it's for the Xfinity race in Charlotte, if I'm not mistaken. And I love when they do that. That always makes it interesting. You get that perspective from the drivers because they know what's going on with these cars. So Ned Jarrett's my number 3. My number 2, he's still currently an announcer in NASCAR, and you can't deny how long he's done it, for how many historical races he's called. So, sometimes you kind of get annoyed with him. You could say what you want, but you can't deny that he is one of the best. Mike Joy's my number 2. I still like listening to him. It got annoying a little bit towards the end of like DW's career when they kind of bounce off each other. I'm like, all right, y'all can just like hush now. But it's actually improved now, and it really improved last year going into this year now with Harvick and Clint Boyer in the booth. So Mike Joy's my number 2. And number 1, I know this is going to be your number 1 too. This is literally the voice of a whole generation, and I loved when they did a throwback. I think it was about 2016, 2017, and they had him calling the Southern 500 as a big throwback. Ken Squire is my number 1. He literally will tell a story during the race. That's how he approaches announcing these races, and he has a radio voice, and he was on TV for those broadcasts. So it was fantastic. And yeah, Ken Squire's my number 1. And I can almost guarantee that's your number 1. So go ahead and get into your number 5 announcers.
All right. This was tough to rank these guys. You could literally almost plug these things in anywhere. But at number 5, this guy probably has one of the most iconic voices. He could be doing a commercial for laundry detergent. You turn around and think there was a race on as soon as you hear him. He's been in movies. He is the founder of the National Speed Sport newspaper and editor. He's done NASCAR. He's done IndyCar. He's done them all. Chris Economaki.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
His iconic voice is gone. Yeah. So this is hard to rank these.
Yeah.
The next 4 we have them just in different orders. At number 4, Hall of Fame driver, one of the best races I've ever seen him call was the Dale and Dale Show in 1993.
Yep.
Cheering on his son to victory lane, where everybody else just stopped talking and just let him cheer on his son and do it in such a professional manner that, yeah, he was cheering his son, but it's like he almost wasn't playing favorites, which was pretty cool. So Ned Jarrett, I got at number 4. At number 3, another former driver. I actually have met him before. He was with a guest speaker at one of the York County Racing Club banquets, and I mean, storyteller to no end. It was just hearing him when he first started running Daytona and everything was really, really interesting. I had Benny Parsons. I remember, I forget what race it was. It was Harry Gant was running, and Benny Parsons said, "There's no way Harry Gant's going to win this race." And he got into a crash or something. And Harry Gant came back and won the race. The next week, they had a cake for Benny Parsons, so he could eat his own words. It had Harry Gant was not going to win this. So number 2, yeah, this guy doesn't probably get the credit he deserves. He's been, my favorite video game, Dirt to Daytona. He's in that one. He's done the SRX. Just one of those great iconic voices, very calm, just entertaining the whole time. Is Alan Bestwick.
Yep.
And then number 1, like you said, this guy's announced everything. He used to be Thursday Night Thunder doing the sprint cars. He's done NASCAR. He's done everything in motorsports. He's done, and to be an entertainer and the announcer like he was, and have the insight and the stories and then all the facts that he had, was unreal. He's definitely going to be missed. Ken Squire.
Yeah, and like I said, to have that throwback when they did the Southern 500 at Darlington, that was absolutely incredible. He still had it. Now, he still got it. I mean, and it was weird because you don't hear that type of announcing anymore. You don't hear a story tell. And the number 9 car is turning into 1, getting a little bit loose right there, going off, fighting with the number 5 car. Like, talking like that is a fantastic.
Right. More like what, like you had Steve Post on, it's more of that.
Yes, like I said, it's a radio broadcast, but he was on TV, so it was fantastic. Yes, so.
Sometimes I wonder if the announcers are actually really watching what's going on at times. It's like. It's like, are you looking at the race? Are you watching your monitors? Or what's, it seems like they don't have an idea what's happening at some point.
And like I said, that's the top 5 NASCAR announcers, and I think for the most part it's going to be motorsports announcers. There's some local ones that we'd probably put ahead of some people, of course. But yeah, it's hard. I'm actually surprised you didn't throw Mike Joy in there, just how long he's done it.
Where would you put him over the other?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, the reason I have Alan Bestwick like I said, the only reason I had Alan Bestwick so low is because he didn't do it as long as a lot of these guys, and I wish, again, they would bring him back. I think he only did it when it was on ESPN and ABC when NASCAR shifted over to that. I think they even raced on CBS at some point.
But it's weird hearing like the NASCAR announcers doing football or something else. It just did not seem right.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, that will do our top 5. We'll make another top 5 and we'll probably bounce around some ideas before we go live. So if you guys want to drop in the comments before we do go live on Sunday, make sure you mark that. We will. I'll create that broadcast so you guys can make sure you save that link. But drop in what top 5 do you want to see? What 5 lists would really interest you, and how we might rank them. I think it's a fun little segment. I think it brings a lot of debate and a lot of conversation. So it's a lot of fun right there. All right, so previewing Daytona.